Robert, it's so fantastic to see you here at London Film and Comic Con. What are you most looking forward to about this weekend?
I love London, and I just love being able to meet the fans here. And this is one of the largest ones I've ever been to. I was at one a couple years ago, and you meet lots of crazy different kinds of people here, and that's really the fun thing. And then doing the autographs. The autographs is a lot of fun.
We've got coming up for you a very big film franchise, haven't we? We've got to mention it because I know we've got fans out there who want to know Mockingjay, the Hunger Games Parts 1 and Part 2. Now everyone's a bit cryptic because your character's Antonius, who's not in the books.
Well, first of all, I have to. You'll see a disclaimer that goes across my face at the moment that says I can't talk about this because the old adage, I'd have to kill you, or they'd have to kill you. I mentioned that film once when I was doing press for something, and I don't know how it got back to me, but I did, and they said, can't talk about it, can't talk about it. It's a beautiful secret, and trust me, it's going to be great.
How tough is it keeping that secret, though? Because I'm sure, it's such a big book.
It's really hard. It's kind of like, knowing that I've got this great little Christmas present and I can't tell you about it. But they're very tight about it.
Obviously, it's such a huge phenomenon, both as a book and as the films, the Hunger Games. Why do you think it's been so popular?
I started in the theater years ago, and it's great storytelling 101. It's just a beautiful, that first book, I'll never forget it. And that first movie, and the second movie was terrific, and I can only expect that the third one will be as well. It always starts with the word and that story, and the writers they have on that are amazing to transform that book into cinema. So you can add all the pyrotechnics you want. We got a few of them sitting outside here today, but if you don't have a great story to go with it, you're screwed. It's not gonna transcend time.
And what do you think it is about the people who've played in the first two movies, the characters, like Jennifer Lawrence, that's really caught people's imaginations?
Yeah, and again, great casting, but really just adding on to what the story was, they just fit. They just really fit. You look at any great movie, television show, stage play, and you think that is the perfect person to play that part. No one else could have played that part. You hear about other choices down the road that might have been the person for that part, and you go, no, I don't see that person playing that part. So, you've done it. You've done it right.
Of course, also we've seen you in Arrow relatively recently, haven't we? You were Plot King, Tokman. Now, what was it like being part of that universe?
That, as an actor, is the best thing to play because you just use your imagination. I had no time to prepare for that. My wife actually was the one who actually said, this is a pretty great character in history of different kinds of interpretations of it. So, yeah, that was a lot of fun, flying by the seat of my pants, coming up with that.
And of course, we could see you back at some point. Do you think you'd like to go back to Arrow? Yeah.
No, I'd love to come back on that. Look, I don't think I've ever had a job, played a character where I wouldn't want to come back. Even if the guy was dead, I'd love to come back.
Tell us a little bit about the fun of kind of going into a world like that, kind of dipping your toe in and kind of working with the actors who are established on that show.
Yeah, you really, as an actor, I always learned, if you're going to play a part, play a great part. Thank you, Bill Esper, and Northwestern University. It really is, it's boring playing just a normal guy. I don't know how to do it anyway. I try to live it in my real life, but I don't know how to do it on film. So it's always you're just going to I have my boy now is 12 years old, and I always feel like I'm a lit'll boy going to work. What'd you do today? Oh, I'm shooting this huge miniseries down in Mexico right now called Texas Rising. It's about the formation of Texas back in the 1830s. It's not a typical normal thing you go to work to do every day. Arrow, what'd you do today? Oh, I wore 12 different clocks on my body. And I was mad that my sister's sick and I gotta, seek vengeance. It's just, not the normal Bookham Dano kind of thing. Although, can I just make a plug for Hawaii Five-0, now that I said Bookham Dano? That's another show I loved working on. I just did it last year, and they're trying to work it out that I can come back next year. And Bookham Dano was, that was one of my favorite shows as a kid. And here I am as an adult getting to work on it. It's so much fun.
Talking about going back, of course, we've seen recently-ish had announced that Heroes is coming back, Heroes Reborn, for a miniseries. So
I don't know what's up with Heroes. I've heard that, but I don't know if they're teasing us or not. I'll let you know when I find out for sure. I'm not sure.
how much would you like to kind of go back to that world?
Again, it's a beautiful world. It's a very imaginative world. Great people to work with, and just kind of ended before its time. So yeah, it would be great to go back.
If you could go back and they said to you, you can do whatever you want, what would you like to do as your character? Because he was a great character, wasn't he, that carnival leader?
Wow. I always, as an actor, I always say I'm not a writer, I'm a suggester. I don't know. I don't know what else they could do with him. He really, I would imagine he would start out sort of like Sir Ian's character, you know, and be locked up somewhere, and he'd have to figure out how to use somebody and their powers to be able to create that power again, to be able to move Earth or move a cell door opening up, something like that. Heroes was interesting for me because I had just finished up my 4-year stint on Prison Break, and I grew up with a dad who hated television, so it kind of ingrained in me never to watch TV. I watched it because of my son once in a while, especially when he was younger, but I didn't really know the show to follow it, like a lot of the fans here know it. I just walked into a world of saying, wow, here's an interesting guy who's pissed off at his brother, and he didn't mean to kill him, but oops, he threw the thing too much through his throat and it killed him, and now he's a bad guy. And my son gave me the best compliment on that. He said, Pop, I'm not sure. He watched like 3 or 4 episodes. He said, I'm not sure, are you a good guy on this or a bad guy? And I thought, yes, we're doing it.
Because that's nice when you got that kind of blurring of the lines, isn't it, I think, with the character, because it's more complex, more interesting for you as an actor as well, and the audience too.
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to training days, you never play a bad guy like a bad guy, you never play a good guy like a good guy, and a lot of parts now are written that are on the edge of being darker characters or soulless characters, that the shades of gray are pretty amazing to be able to play those. Thank God.
What can we look forward to coming up next for you?
I did a great series last year called Mob City. We just did 1 season of it with Frank Darabont. Eddie Burns, who played Bugsy Siegel on that, has a new series called Public Morals. We start shooting that in February. It comes on, I think, in February. We start shooting that in October. And because of Eddie, Steven Spielberg is producing that show. And fingers crossed, I'm going to be working with Steven soon on his next movie. So we'll see.
Wow.
I can't talk about that either. Steven, please hire me. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit about Public Morals. You mentioned the new show.
Eddie's really great with writing about his family and cops in his family. And this is one that he had kind of in the drawer that he told me that he hadn't shot yet. It's a 1960s Vice Squad cops in New York City, and I play their captain. Very different character than I've played before, which I love. I love the chameleon kind of quality of stuff. Great script. Kind of reminds me of something like Sidney Lumet would have loved to get his hands on. Pacino would have loved. It's a very 60s, a very 70s kind of style. Great storytelling. And this world happens to be with cops, and it's great. Usually I play, the guy on the other side, so it's good.
Finally, what would you like to say to your fans out there, Robert?
It's just a huge thank you, and it's always amazing to me because when you shoot something, you're in a very insulated kind of environment. It's just you and the crew and the other actors and the director, and it's amazing that it reverberates and actually transcends time. It's, Prison Break was years ago, but here, especially Paris,
could we ask a favor?
Actually major cities around the world, capital cities, that show is still resonating for so many people, and that's good to know. It's good to hear. So thank you.